So what I want us to understand with this whole celebrity versus platform thing, Netflix versus Warner Brothers and Paramount and all of this different stuff, right? This shit is a fucking battle for digital real estate. Y'all have heard me talk about digital real estate before. I always talk about digital real estate, but I want y'all to understand it all, right? So if we look at why things are the way they are, right? Like 10 years ago, music was lit, streaming was lit, YouTube was lit, podcasting was new. All of this shit was just lit. You know what I'm saying? We was like content. The gram was lit during COVID, quarantine radio, free Tory Lanez. It was a lot of shit going on, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden it just felt like entertainment took a dive, right? And it's not that it took a dive, it's just shit has changed on how we receive visibility. So if we look at entertainment from the inception of it, right? Like from the beginning, I don't know the very beginning, but I know entertainment kind of started off as like some shit the mafia was doing, where like they would have like gambling parties and invite somebody to come sing or some shit like that. But if we look at entertainment as a whole, right, from like 1950 to 2000, right, the shit was kind of like built off like mystique and like scarcity. Because you didn't know when you would see this celebrity or hear from them again. And there were only a selective amount of distribution channels, right? Meaning like radio, magazines, televisions, getting your shit in a movie or something like that. You only had those distribution channels to be able to get yourself heard or seen as a celebrity. What happened around 2000 is we start getting the internet, right? Shit like MySpace started coming. Shout out to MySpace. Shit like MySpace started coming and that piff, you know what I mean? All these different sites start coming around. But the problem with the early age of the internet was everything was in chronological order. So you only saw what you followed, right? You didn't just see what was recommended. Like if I posted something and you followed another artist and they posted something 13 seconds after me, right after my post, you'll see their post. It was whatever you followed, you see it in chronological order on Twitter. And somewhere like around like 2012, 2011, oh, shout out to Sundown Market. He said I was on his top 8 on MySpace. So. Shout out to him, man. Appreciate that. Shout out to Tom from MySpace. But somewhere around like 2012 or whatever, 2012, 2011, maybe 2010, somewhere around there, they started creating these recommendation-based algorithms, right? To where the algorithm would now suggest things to you based off what you like or how long you watched it or if you commented or shared it. It will find more things that was familiar to that post and it would recommend it to you. That's why we see posts today where we rarely see the people we follow and see shit from 3 days ago from somebody we don't even fucking know, because it's recommending something to you to try to get you to engage with it, right? And the problem with that is at any given moment, they could cool you up, they could turn you up, or they could turn you down, right? And especially with rap music right now, what y'all don't know is they're suppressing rap music. The algorithm is suppressing rap music because they feel like it's bad for business. Niggas be talking about a bunch of killing, a bunch of cheating, a bunch of trifling shit, and they can't go scale this shit to broader brands or get more money, right? The money can only go so far with the rap music. So they're kind of like trying to turn rap down in the algorithm and boost things up like, you know, user-generated content, shampoo, acne medicine, teeth whitening products, all these different things that the world could buy, because how far can rap music go, honestly, right? So because they could turn us up or turn us down at any given moment, what you start to realize is you don't own your audience, right? Instagram owns the followers, Spotify owns your listeners. YouTube owns viewership. TikTok owns virality. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't own your fucking audience. So as artists, what we have to start getting into the habit of is looking at ourselves as our own platform. Like, we're an app. You should have, for those who can't afford a team, right? You're going to have to do this shit yourself. You know what I mean? Like, until you're able to afford one. You got to look at yourself the same way Coca-Cola got a video department, a sales team, creative director. You got to have all of these things now, and to be able to control a community to put content on an app. Now, one way of doing that, I'm not saying this is the way. I'm not saying nothing I say is a factual way of doing things. This is just the way of things I study. One way of doing that is to use the platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, Instagram to build up your community, right? So you might do things like put an exclusive song on your app, but only drop the teaser on YouTube or Instagram and tell people to go download your app, pay $3.99 for the month, and then now you could pump them all the content they want versus you feeding Instagram all of this content because all they're getting is your data, and now they're scaling your data to another company and getting billions of dollars for this shit because the data is the most important fucking thing. Everybody be telling y'all, own your masters, own your masters, own your masters. You should own your masters. But more importantly than your masters, you should own the data. Because the data is how motherfuckers know who go where next, where this person ate for breakfast. Now you could put your song in that restaurant or whatever it may be because your audience live over there. You gotta own your data in this day and age that we're getting ready to go through as audience because that we're getting ready to go through as artists, because if you don't own your audience, you'll never know where they are. You'll never know how to sell to them. You'll never know how to entertain them. And you'll always feel like you're on a hamster wheel, right? Which leads me to my next subject. Netflix buys Warner Brothers. This is another conversation about platforming and digital real estate, right? It's not that, in my opinion, I could be completely wrong, y'all. In my opinion, I don't think Netflix is going to just all out buy Warner Brothers, right? It's too expensive. I don't think Netflix wants to inherit Warner Brothers' back payroll, they debt, the production studios, the parking lots, the theme parks. I don't think they want that, right? What I think Netflix want is the ability to use what they want when they want. So if we look at this shit like the streets, right? You got the block, you got the corner, right? The corner is jumping. That's where all the drugs is being sold. Everybody on the motherfucking corner, and the traffic coming through there, the supply demand coming through there, all the traffic. That's Netflix. Netflix owns the corner, right? Warner is like the block. It's like the house is on the block. Warner owns the block, right? What Netflix is saying is, we don't want to buy the block. We want to lease the keys. We want to rent the keys. We want to be able to come in your house and get Harry Potter and take this nigga to the corner and be like, hey, everybody, look, I got Harry Potter over this motherfucker smoking weed, doing all the turned up shit, right? And everybody pull their phone out and like, oh, shit, the block, look, Harry Potter over here, the block lit, woo, 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 woo. Now, everybody watching this shit, and then Netflix then made a new Harry Potter movie, and they could take Harry Potter right back in the motherfucking house, and they don't have to pay for the plumbing, the mortgage, the roofing, none of that. Right? Because they're not trying to buy the block. They're just trying to rent the keys to be able to go do their own things. So if I'm Netflix and I could get the right to make a new Batman movie, right? Or a new fucking DC movie or Harry Potter movie or whatever, I can do that in my own studios, right? I don't necessarily need Warner Brothers infrastructure to do that. I just need the rights to Batman. That's my opinion. I don't know if this is the case here. They could be buying all of the film studios. I don't think that would be a smart move because what do you need them for if you're Netflix? So in my opinion, what Netflix is doing is asking for the keys to the house. They're not trying to buy the house. They just want to be able to go in there and get what they want, when they want, however they want. You know what I'm saying? So all of this shit is about visibility on the platform. Netflix is buying Warner Brothers to be able to keep visibility on their platform. They want to be able to keep as many eyes on their platform as you can, which essentially makes them the new cable. So if we watching football games on Netflix, now all the Warner Brothers is on there. Shit, the Diddy documentary was just on there. You got all kind of different catalogs now that Netflix is buying to where they will put that on the app. And the more things we see, the more time we'll spend on that app watching shit. And then we'll end up canceling a Tubi. Right? Or not Tubi because that's owned by Fox, or canceling whatever app, right? Because it'll be whatever we was watching on that app would be on Netflix now. So Netflix is trying to dominate visibility. They're trying to dominate your eyes. You know what I'm saying? So I want everybody to understand that, because you guys as artists should start understanding how to build your own platform. You're your own Netflix now. You're your own Warner. Every time you make a piece of content, that's a new movie. You know what I mean? That's a new commercial. That's a new short film. And that should live somewhere where you can control your audience and your community to be able to text them and say, hey, I'm doing a show tonight. And it's 1,000 people in the chat. Now out of that 1,000 people, 200 people show up versus you posting it on Instagram and your algorithm ain't even serving your audience and nobody sees this shit. So you definitely need your audience, definitely build community, build your own platform, and continue to be dope, y'all. Continue to be dope. I wanted to give y'all that game.